Welcome, brothers, welcome, sisters, welcome to our program On Target. And as usual, as soon as we start this program, you can pick up the telephone and give us a call. We never have a subject matter. We speak about anything: politics, religion, socioeconomic issues, any issue trending, any topical issue of the day. We speak about it. And you are welcome to give us a call. The number to call is 442-0175. Remember, we on Facebook, YouTube, and you can pick up the number and call RealFM 91.9. We always await your call. We give preference to your call. And we will stop in the middle of a sentence and take your call. And everybody has an opportunity to express themselves. You don't have to agree with the host. We just encourage you to be respectful, particularly in this time when people are so disrespectful to one another. We have to try, because the temptation is that we retaliate. But we have to avoid that. We have to try to be tolerant and respectful. We are concerned that some of the institutions in our country seems to becoming agents of the Grenada restorative justice policy, the victimization policy. We notice we notice that people are concerned, and they express concerns with the Grenada Cooperative Bank management and the Public Service Commission and some of our hosts on radio that continue to be very dismissive of people because they're not of same political inkling. But we have to avoid it and still be tolerant and be respectful. Over the last couple of days, and particularly over the weekend, I was in serious discussion with some of my colleagues that I normally meet in the bars. And we had discussion. Theobalton Raoud and John Galt, two of the individuals that I have a drink with and exchange ideas, discuss politics, religion, and current affairs with in Sinner's Choice. We spent a long time in Sinner's Choice. Theobalton was particularly concerned with statement that I made that the National Democratic Party, the NDC, is associated with the most impactful lies in all governments that passed in Grenada in the last 8 decades. You take objection to that? I told him not that the NDC party lied the most, but when you take the sum total of all the lies told by political parties over the past 80 years, the NDC would surpass it in flying colors. We went back to the historicity over this period of time. And we went back to Mr. Blair's government in the GNP. After the Federation failed in Trinidad, in the Caribbean, not in Trinidad. Federation failed in the Caribbean. Jamaica pulled out. Jamaica believed perhaps we'd have been a burden to them. That time the US dollar was almost equal to the Jamaican dollar. Jamaica felt the Caribbean would have been a burden to them. So they left. Trinidad came up with a mathematical calculation. 1 from 10 is not. And they left the other Caribbean islands in limbo. They were begging Eric William, let us continue the federation. We prepare to let you lead us. But Eric William decided if Jamaica pull out, the burden would be too much on Trinidad. So he came up with the famous Caribbean mathematical calculation, 1 from 10 is not. Eric Gary in Grenada decided that the 8 countries in the OECS should go together. And he started to campaign to encourage the 8 countries in the OECS to go and get independence together and work together. Mr. Blaise then in Grenada said, no damn little 8. And Mr. Blaise decided to go with Trinidad in unitary state. So that election was hot. Gary campaigning on the platform where he was asking people, let the 8 OECS countries work together. So he was campaigning for little 8. And the GNP and Mr. Blaise was campaigning, no damn little 8, unitary state. Those were the catchphrase in the election. No damn little 8, unitary state. And Gary was campaigning for little 8. The GNP then added some fuel. And they claim if we join Trinidad in unitary state, we're going to get same pay like Trinidad. Well, Grenadian jump immediately. Because in those days, Trinidad have oil. And oil don't spoil. So they wanted same pay like Trinidad. So that was one of the masterpieces of lies and disinformation that was spread by the GNP government then. The second one, GNP and the Alliance. They came back from England and said no independence. Gary would not get independence. We did not sign for it, he wouldn't get it. And a few days after Gary landed back in Grenada, they came on Paul's airport. Mr. Blaise, Ben Jones, Bernard Code, these were the team that went up lobbying against independence. Volume 2, Steelban, went and meet them on Paul's airport. And it was party like hell. People danced because Grenada would not get independence. A few days after that, Eric Gary landed on the airport. And those Garyites come from every creek and corner. Some of them walk for miles, assemble on the airport. And Gary said, we have it in the bag. We're getting independence. 7th February. And Archibald said, Dundan and Wega trick us again. That was the 2 masterpieces of lies told to the Grenadian public. Eric Gary was accused for saying he could walk on water. Well, if you ask Garyites that, they tell you it's not true. Uncle Gary never said that. But the Jewel and the Alliance say Uncle Gary said that. And Uncle Gary was a mystic, always praying to the great omnipotent God. And he believed in UFO too. So he could have said. So they said Gary said he could walk on water. And when they assembled in St. George's to walk on water, he said the time is not right. So that was another lie they said told by Gary. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, good afternoon.
Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, listen Radio Grenada. And I'm listening some callers. Mr. Pierre, why we so linked with ourselves? some Grenadians people tell us that maybe they must be now come touch down in Grenada. They didn't live in Grenada all the time. They must be now coming. But I want to tell Dr. Modest, nobody can hold your joy. Your head could lift up, walk Grenada. You could walk Grenada with your head high. You don't bother with them. All what they're telling you about them. They're not telling you about themselves. They're telling you about them. I listen to these people and them disrespecting the minister, and trust me, I try to get this station. They don't know, I try to get
You see, in a democratic play, sometimes you just have to be tolerant and listen to them. If you have your opportunity to call, you say your bit, but don't be angry because they're negative.
Mr. Pierre, them people are them doing like if they didn't live in Grenada.
But if you notice, they have been very dismissive and the language is very disrespectful of other people.
They're living in Grenada. They know things going on. Mr. Pierre, Sunday morning and Saturday morning, everybody pick up the Bible and they put on their piece of clothes on them and they go in and ball lad. And that is why they don't say.
But imagine if they didn't go into church. It'll do worse. If they're going to church and they're behaving so, imagine if we were not a godly people. We'll do worse.
Somebody calling Dr. Morris and telling her if she forget what she and the Jamaicans. What these people are them disrespect.
You see, sometimes when you cannot deal with the subject matter, and that's why on my program I'm always challenging people to take me on with the truth. So sometimes when they cannot deal with the truth, they try to be scandalous. Yeah?
Oh, I don't like that.
Yeah.
Next time, let me big up my candidate, Mr. Victor Philip.
Victor Philip, yeah.
Mr. Victor Philip, good afternoon, sir. And all St. Patrick West, please make us know we have a candidate. We have a candidate and he is willing, and give him the opportunity. Good morning, good afternoon, good night, Mr. Victor Philip. And all St. Patrick West, big up Mr. Victor Philip. Help him. Make him know that we need him. He don't get a chance, man. If he get a chance, I know you don't do a lot.
And he has a long history working with the people in his constituency.
Let us give him the opportunity. If he get it, he would have do a lot, and he willing. So all St. Patrick West, come on, wake up, and let we do what we got to do. And Mr. Pierre, have a blessed day.
Yes, and as I was saying in my discussion, yes, caller, welcome. Yes, caller, welcome. All right, we lost that caller. Just call back.
Good afternoon.
Yes,
yeah,
my brother.
I like how you say tolerant to them, but you see, we've been saying be tolerant to them for the last 9 years, and or before that. You see what they got all full-blown toxic Grenadians, especially NPIs, and they do it boldly and shamelessly. Let me make a little reference to the gentleman that took up the seed program, the blind gentleman. I want to call him name. It's not my name, not my business. But anyhow, I listened to this gentleman when he initially made that proclaimment on the radio station. And he blatantly said, Mr. Pierre, he said, did identify themselves, and he tried it, but he don't want to call the name on it, right? Do you know and clarify the same thing that I tell somebody? I said the man said he don't want to call the person name just because he want to get them fed. Do you know there are people still saying they believe it's NPI and they believe it's prank calls for true, and it goes so far as the minister is saying prank calls going wrong? That's the level of how they're stooping to lie to the great public. They're coming blatantly. And to Mr. Terry Forrester, he was on that program when that minister said that, and he was right there just listening. And like, yes, that is so true. The gentleman had this morning, the minister called him and he had to explain to her what happened. And he explained, he told the lady the person's name. Nobody will go and put on a ministry uniform and go to somebody's house to risk getting arrested. How dumb that is. And the prince of hate prolonging this thing and said, what? He believed the guy lying and the guy lying. Like, really? Come on, come on. And what happened this morning on GBN? Like always, all these NDCI just did the way to call the disrespect and say all kind of nonsense. Imagine the ND said something about the nurses and health. I called and said directly different what the lady said. And my God, that person wasn't listening, because if they were listening without hate in the heart or in the head, they would have understand what the lady said. And to be honest, kudos to Dr. Clarence, because she is one of the politicians that has the calmness and the understanding of how sycophantic people can be in this country. And this is all need to calm down and take your time. Take your time.
Caller.
Yes, Mr. Pierre.
I always asking people for tolerance. But if you notice, I'm not tolerant with restorative justice. I'm not going to be tolerant with the cooperative bank. I'm not going to be tolerant with the Public Service Commission. I'm not going to be tolerant with the motivational speakers that asking to throw the people in armchair and calling people nasty. No, we need to go after the leaders. But sometimes we need to be tolerant with the individuals that follow them. Yeah?
And lastly, before I go, Mr. Pierre, I'm seeing a trend that is being promoted. There seems to be people grifting off an NDC party as a party. There are people that is not members of the party, and they say they are not members of the party, and they are promoting boat trip on the party name, NDCites. NDC as a party. Get your act together, because if you all have somebody promoting something on behalf of your name, they're supposed to be a member of your party, and you're supposed to have your party logo. If that's not the case, that is a grip, and it is very dangerous for your party. Have a good day,
But Colorado, before you go, you remember that Black Wizard say, inside NDC, we have an NP. Because remember, NDC don't too like a lot of people that are among them, you know. They just use them. So Black Wizard warn you, inside NDC, you have an NP. That is why the National Democratic Congress could refire people so indiscriminately. A lot of the people that lost their jobs are NDC members. NDC vote for them, you know. But they have to take Black Wizard warning. They have no right to be in that party. That party does not seek their interests. Yes, caller, thank you. You see,
Mr. have a good day.
It's very important for us to understand. Yes, caller, welcome.
Hello?
Yes, my brother, welcome.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, my brother.
So when all the children that go on do the exam going to secondary school, okay? What about the rest that go to what about the rest when they do the CXC? What will be going on with them?
Well, when they do the CXC, they just get out back in the public.
I want to know if they'll be going, just like for them who do the CPA, if the government send them to school just so too.
No, well, it's up and out, you know. When you have 16 years, the government don't really bother with you. That is one of the challenges we had. That's why the government came in and employed 3,000 people in the Imani program.
Okay.
And every chance the NDC get, they want to dismantle that program.
Okay, Mr. Pierre. You have a nice afternoon.
Yes, and I mean, people have to understand, because of the high unemployment in our country, because of the lack of talents and skills unemployed people have in getting a job. This is why, yes, caller, welcome. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yeah, good. Yeah, Friday program is one of the best. One day I read humorous than the program too. I like
on Friday. Yeah.
Friday program like I'm thinking about you don't formal to answer no question. Anytime the question comes to you straight off the bat. Yeah. And the Prime Minister, I don't think he was honest enough when he talk about Green and these about a lot of money. Because if he is honest enough, you know, then people he keep firing, like, then people who's in charge of the playing field and all, the securities and all this, what going on. Every time, every month, more and more people just keep you going. And you say Grenadian deserve a lot of money. Because the Cocoa Association, they give 15 cents. I would like the Prime Minister to go around the country and see why he could buy the 15 cents. Go around the country. They give 15 cents raise and pay. And he couldn't even tell them, no, Grenadian deserve a lot of money. Put some more, maybe $1 or more, and that. He just said, so I don't think he was genuine when he said Grenadian needs about that money. Because you not keep sending people home. Because when people go home, they don't have no money again. So if it is about that money, why do you keep sending people home? They have started situation, but he keeps sending because when a man loses his job, I know it's up because other man he has to depend on him. Some other family member he has to depend on. So when he had his own bread, he didn't bother them. But no, he had to hang on to somebody. And that is fracture in society, man. You can't keep sending people to give people create jobs. Somewhere or the other, do something, but don't keep sending people home. Take it, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, and that is why after the budget was read, I described the budget as a disaster for people in the lower income group, particularly if your income was $3,000 or less. And it might have been pie in the sky for others. Yes, caller, welcome.
Hey, good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, I was listening to the point this morning where Honorable Christ Mother was speaking about the medication. Right? And when it's open for calling, I listen to some people calling, they talk about all stupidness. Talk about them, stream farm, I can't notice and stupidness. And I ask them, people call this morning, how will they feel to know that if the father or the mother or the sister, the aunt, went in hospital and they need medication, there is no medication, and they die? How will they feel? Right? How will they feel? And see now when you speak of something, they can't defend what you're speaking about. Because they know it's the truth. But they come and try to speak of all stupidness. Thing that happened, what happened, they go talk about it. The important thing here, the hospital need medication. Right? And they should encourage the government to get medication. You have the Minister of Health said that they get medication. But then it is not true. So if you really love your parents and you really love health care, you should try encourage the government to get medication so that in case if your parents or your wife or your children went in the hospital and they need medication, they have. What you're speaking of is the honorable member for St. Mark was speaking about medication. But they divert and speak about all kinds of stupid stream farm, all kinds of stupidness. What I have to do with medication?
There is a cheap distraction
A
tactic.
cheap distraction. So when they try to distract, we have to stay on what is important. Because they were saying the wealth of the health of our nation is the wealth of our people is the health of our nation. And medication is important. Health should be one of the most priority of our government for the people. And the problem is not, I always say, Mr. Pierre, the problem is not how much money that you owe. Once you pay and you take it, nobody have problem with you getting anything. It's when you bad pay and you don't pay it. I remember in 2008, because of greater bad pay at that time, some other country get bad name for the NDC government or not paying the medication. And the income the government, there was much more money there. The federal government was owing. And they didn't complain. Because a government come, a government is a continuation. So whatever debt that a previous government left, the government come here to pay. Because not NFP, not a party borrow the money. It's the government greater. So you cannot complain and say, well, you don't pay. You have to pay. And if you check Mr. Pierre concerning with the thing with Grindbog, remember when Grindbog sued the government greater, right? Who was in government at the time? The same NDC. And they say, let Grindbog do what they want. And who are the one that have to go and defend Greater good name is Gary Bowen and the NFP government. That's a fine liar. To go and defend the Greater good name. And when Greater win the case, they take praise. I will say, people first, and not yourself first. And when you elect a person, any government power, you have to seek the interest of the people, not your interest. The people come first. All right, later.
I don't envy these supporters of the National Democratic Congress now, it's very difficult to defend a party like NDC. The NDC has been hostile to people in the lower income group. They brought tears to the elderly eyes in the hot sun when they robbed them of their $150. And the NDC have a history of doing that. Look at what they done to the Imani in the 2008-2013 period. And today, the amount of stress that exists among these people, they don't know what would be the situation tomorrow. The government is planning to fire those over 35 years. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yes, sir, afternoon.
Yes, caller.
On Friday gone, I made a statement reporting that Mr. Barolo got a call from the ministry that said he's picked up from the program, the MC program. On Sunday, the Minister for Social Affairs came on a that there has been prank calls going on to that relationship, to that issue. This morning, Mr. Ndoro reported that the minister spoke to him, right? And she lied. He didn't say the lie exactly, but he said, the people who came, it's in the tree. There is no way it was a prank call. Authentically, the people came out day after, which was a holiday. So we got to the lady, well, tomorrow's a holiday.
The phone breaking up bad. I don't know why. The WhatsApp. Caller, we can't hear you clearly. You're breaking up. You hearing us good? You're out completely. Caller, you were breaking up a bit. I don't know, maybe you could call us back later, but Mr. Rulo, I managed to hear Mr. Rulo. And what the minister should have done, said no, he's not removed from the list. Yes, he's on the list. Not whether there are prank calls or not. Even emergency line got prank calls. So when she come in, or he come in, they come to put a definite spin on it. Yes, he's on the list. No, he's not removed. That is what is needed. But the National Democratic Congress have always been hostile towards this group of people. And that is why Black Wizards say, even in NDC, they are NNP. So a lot of people who support the NDC now, they are supporting a political entity that historically is hostile to them. If your income is under $3,000 a month, if the majority of your family is poor, you should not be supporting NDC. You should not be supporting NDC. NDC does not seek your interests. It's a party that historically, and I'm dealing with that now, historically tells some of the most impactful lies to our country. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yes, Mr. Pierre, I was on the move. Maybe that's why it was breaking up.
Yeah, you were breaking up bad, yeah.
Which way I was supposed to be?
All right, okay.
I say this.
Yes, I was here in the first part of the comments that Mr. Rulo was on the radio again this morning and clearing it up.
I confirm.
Yeah.
The people came from the ministry authentically. There's no question about that. Everything he said, proof that what the lady was saying, that prank call issue coming to him could be possible, was no way possible. It came from the ministry. The lady could identify who she is and everything. And they came and did an interview within the day of the holiday last week. When he pointed out to her at the time when they said they were going to come the day, he said, well, tomorrow's a holiday. She said, no, that's nothing because we have so much work to do. They will make sure they try to get it done. And the minister is saying that this plan call thing is not true.
What the minister should have done was say, yes, he is, no, he is not.
He's still on the list.
Yeah, and she failed to do that.
But you see, they're embarrassed about the whole thing, and so...
The NDC just making a face,
no.
they're not embarrassed. They're bad-minded. You don't go after the elderly. And Grenadians must take strongly when a political party historically goes after the elderly.
I heard somebody said on the radio today that there's a 70-something-year-old man who has been taken off of the list. So don't worry, this people on them. They have been taken off. That's something. In this day, there's a special look at the cost of living. Take out the 150 already. You take out people who are informed and at the same time almost disabled in some cases, some disabled. You take them out. I mean, that's evil. It's evil.
Yeah.
Just and in dealing with the Prime Minister's speech last night, let me point out before I go. And I've been pointing out that to people a whole lot for a while now, that the government has not paid pension. The government program of the backlog with what they call what's the name?
Retroactive.
The retroactive payment. It's not paying a pension. They form a committee, just like Kit Mitchell was pointing out that a committee is necessary to look into the thing. The committee is still there. Last night,
The government lied to lie and deceive people.
the Prime Minister point out that in going forward, we have to consider that the government cannot just pay pension from the money. No, you have to now contribute. That's what the committee is.
You're breaking up again, you're moving again.
For not paying, talking about you want to set a committee instead of paying the money, paying the pension. Right now, the committee is actively going to get the report in 6 months, which would conclude the Prime Minister going forward. We have to consider that you have to contribute to your pension. What's the difference between that and NIS? You have to contribute to your pension. Government would not take consolidated phone and pay pension from now on. That's what he's basically saying. Because they consider that to pay pension, everybody getting a pension every month, how it is designed in the Constitution, the 1958 and the 1958 rule is not going to be working for us. The government, he pointed out these things last night. Who is listening to bad for, not listening to bad for them? That's a serious issue, Mr. Pierre. People have been deceived so bad in this country with this nonsense.
Yes, and that is what I'm speaking about. I was looking at, because somebody challenged me, the most lies told by political parties in our history. And like NDC winning the prize about 10 times for that. They're telling the lies too much.
To say it that way too. Take care, sir.
Yes, my brother. And it's time that we challenge politicians that you don't have to tell these unrealistic lies. The National Democratic Congress in 2008 lied to our people. They told them they're going to raise the pension that the elderly and physically challenged was getting to $400. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre,
Yes, caller, welcome.
if the government didn't meet up President Treasury, there is no way they would have been able to pay their pension, you know. And I think people should think about that.
And they squander this money, you know.
Yeah, if they didn't meet it, they would not have been able to pay it. Thank you.
Yes. Now the government, politicians have to be realistic with our people. You cannot be just going and tell lies to people. So that is unacceptable. And when Theo Bolton was challenging me, we had extensive discussion. And he had to buy the drink after because he realized that I was speaking the truth. In 2008, the National Democratic Congress told the Imanes that they're going to raise the stipend or the income or the money they get into $1,000. And they're going to raise the elderly pay to $400. The NDC vulgarly use an elderly man to advertise the raising of the pension. That was vulgar. They never give the man the money. They never give anybody the money. Instead of that, they remove a significant number of people from the program. And I have said on many occasions and continue to repeat, 5 of them was from Paraclet. And not counting man, only the women are counting. 2 of them is still alive. 1 has reached 100 years. They, instead of giving the Imani the $1,000, they dismantled the organization, form an organization with a long name, and fire the young people. When the government returned, the political party returned after 2013, the new Imani program started with 3,000 people. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, good afternoon. Hello?
Yes, we hardly could hear you.
I say good afternoon.
Yes, good day.
And I hope I will meet you in the rum shop one of these days.
Yes, man, we must bounce.
because the thing is, one of the shops that you don't be in, I just be there.
Yeah.
I had the same thing, those NDC just gang me.
Yeah.
But fortunately, I could take out myself. But they just gang me up. Sometimes 5 NDC.
Because they cannot defend, so they attacking wild.
Yeah, they just gang
They
me.
can, the subject matter, NDC, it's not easy to defend in NDC, you know.
I don't know. But I could tell you, we'll always leave there very cordial and nice.
Of course.
Very cordial and nice, I could tell you. And I don't prepare to hate or to bad talk.
But it's just discussion over a drink.
Yeah, I do not to do that at all. And I am convinced that what Mr. Rolo said is true. I heard him this morning, and he was plain, and it is true that a member, a worker, did interview Mr. Rolo. I am convinced of that, right? So the minister, the role that the minister played there about is a prank call. I don't think it was nice.
But when the minister said in December they will get the money, was a prank though? She tricked the elderly people.
I think the minister have to do better than that. And I am prepared to tell the minister that she ought to do better than that. When she said on Sunday it could be a prank call, I believe that the minister knew about it because the person declared themselves that they are a member, they are a worker, declared them that to Mr. Rolo and came to his home. So there are no prank there. I am saying nobody, whether they are NMP or NDC, should be sent home because they are supporting a party.
Well, that is
NMP
what
is in power and they do it, I'm totally against it. And if NDC do it, I'm totally against it.
Look at the Robinson girl from Union. She gave her telephone number on the air, you know.
Yeah.
She said, come and investigate the case. No, there's a number of other people that are not calling, you know.
Yes.
They're home shedding tears.
No worker should be sent home because of the political aspiration. I will never support that, and I'll hate a government doing that. Nobody should not be sent home because they are supporting the other party. The fact remains, if the person is not pulling their weight in the work and you want to get rid of them, the authorities have the right. I have nothing with that. But to take away a work from somebody because they're an NMP or NDC, I totally think that's an atrocious thing to do. And it should not be tolerated.
Yeah.
It should not be. And the party, the NMP as a party, ought to take more in that and give and complain, make more official complaint on those things. Because we've seen it happening, it is happening. And nobody should be doing it.
And that's why we're condemning the bank. Because if the bank is propagating individuals to be so disrespectful to leaders, then that it could well be that the bank is supporting the government restorative justice policy.
But I will hope that the hierarchy in the NMP make a report to the bank.
Well, the public complaining is better than the political group. You know?
Yes,
they are attacking the political group. What you need is the public to outcry.
Well, the public is outcrying.
That's what you need.
I'm hoping that the politicians, the parliamentarians.
Well, is the politicians they're attacking, you know?
Yes,
and they're attacking the politicians. They have to stand up brave against it
and come out.
When they attack the politician, they hope they would get no reaction from the general public.
No,
is the public to show the disgust and displeasure with the attitude of the bank?
Because I spoke to Mr. William Joseph some time ago. I think Sunday night I went. And he said that as far as he's concerned, he don't know of no victimization and nobody losing the job.
Well, Willie has been radicalizing. Yeah. Willie said that we in not making noise. And I called Willie on a case. And I even called him for the Robinson girl from Union. I tell Willie could go and investigate the case. So when Willie said nobody is victimized, Willie has been radicalized. And that is what is sad. If at that time in Grenada, the Public Workers Union, we read out letters on the radio, the Public Workers Union challenge case in front of the Public Service Commission. The Public Service Commission fired the Labour Commissioner. And Willie still said nobody?
See, you have not heard of none.
He deaf in one ear and he blind in eyes. Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yes, and these are the things that we must object to. If all these things going on in Grenada, and Willie still believe nobody has been victimized, then maybe Willie is an agent of the restorative justice policy. And obviously, you wouldn't expect him to say otherwise. But if he is a strategic expert and public policy analyst, he have to realize that he is diluting his influence. He is putting his profession on the line. Because that means he is openly biased and taking sides in propagating a policy that is counterproductive towards justice in our country. He ought to know that, you know. But yes, I was on the issue because I made this statement that the National Democratic Congress have told the most lies in politics in Grenada. And we were going through some of the political parties and the lies they told. The last one we dealt with, Eric Gary said he could walk on water. And that one was a lie. As far as the GNP concerned, Gary Wright said they lie on it. And then in the Paradise area, he said he's going to make boat come up the river. Well, obviously, Paradise being the biggest river in Grenada, if Guyanese see it, they will say it's a drain. Boat could come up. But then they say it's banana boat. And although I have not heard anybody said, I heard when Eric Gary said that. But the Jewel movement, then, they went around and they say Gary says the banana boat. Although the Gary Wrights would tell you he didn't say banana boat. But yes, we could accept that for argument's sake that he lied. And then we had the NNP and Kit Mitchell, Dr. Kit Mitchell. They say we get oil. And that too, Grenada must have oil. If Trinidad have oil, Guyana have oil, Border Island have oil, we must have oil. And the other NDC believe we have oil too. But I believe when the government said it, people got the impression that very soon we would start to have oil coming out in drums. So the government might have excited the truth. So we could accept that too as one of the lies on the agenda. But the National Democratic Congress, when you add up all the lies told by all other political parties, the sum total, the NDC lies have been more impactful and has hurt Grenada more and has brought tears to people's eyes. This period of time, the National Democratic Congress claimed that they're going to make people permanent. You heard Comrade Dennis Cornwall saying there is no need for a parallel service. They say they're going to make the money permanent. All workers on contract will be made permanent. And people believe that. And within 2-3 weeks of the election, the NDC became very popular. And as soon as the NDC come into power, they came into power in June 24th, officially. And by July 5th, the workers from Carriacou got the shock of their life as the government started firing workers. And over 2,000 to 3,000 workers in Grenada now lost their job. And not all of them is NNP. Some of them is NDC. They lost their job. The 30 workers on Grand Bay Estate, the workers involved in pest management unit, the road wardens, the traffic wardens, the caregivers, the workers on the groundsmen, and a number of workers in different areas in contract have lost their job without any economic justification. And the NDC sat down and planned lies. And while they were doing it, they believe that the government coffers is a supermarket. So they believe they have to shop there. So you hear stories of 2 ministers getting over $3 million in loan from the GDB Bank. Of over 3 senior personnel, including the Prime Minister, are agents to sell passport in the CBI program. The Prime Minister and his team seems to be opening the door to a cesspool of corruption in Grenada. I think that has left a number of moderate NDC spellbound and dumbfounded that it's difficult for them to defend NDC. The NDC claim that if they don't raise their pay, they're going to get corrupt. And that perhaps has attracted number 10. Number 10 seems to have some serious monetary challenge. And that perhaps has attracted number 10 to jump the bandwagon, to jump on the bandwagon, get radicalized, and abandon even those that tears used to shed for in the past. The NDC law for money has caused the tears to dry up for those they used to share in the past. And that's why it's very important for us to point out those lies that are told and the inherent wrong that this political party is doing. You cannot have a political party. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes,
How are
man.
you?
Great, man. Good, man.
Good to hear you, man.
Yeah.
But I want Grenadians to remember we had October 19, 1981, and the behavior of this government. Tell them, some of us are quiet, but things could happen by the stroke of a pen, as the Prime Minister said, by the stroke of a pen. I like his words, He chooses words carefully, like V. Nazim Buck. I was listening good. He's a corporate lawyer. I have nothing. I'm a rustic. All I could do is sit down and drink me 2 sour beer and shoot shit on the side of the road,
And hold discussion in the symposium?
Of course. Yes, you go on. when you go in the rum shop, that is what politics is?
Yes.
When they go in parliament, because we don't dress up a jacket.
No, we don't make it.
No. White jersey and jeans pants are that way. Yeah, you go and drink your liquor and you tell them as it is, man.
Yeah.
So with the behavior, because I listen to pastor once say, the one that put on there,
the life God?
Yes. Yeah. And then you have the Bible. Tell he and the number 10 to throw away the Bible. That go burn in the hand.
No, they can't throw away the Bible. You're mad. They have to keep it close. He might change them. Every now and then they might go and read, and God said not to abandon the poor. They have to keep it close.
No, it's very dangerous.
Yeah. 2 o'clock in the morning, he gone in the hospital looking for Maureen Bishop's spirit. And not say she's sorry she didn't send him in the pathological annex.
Yes. He gonna go back. He gonna go back again.
You don't want to pay for the drugs, because you see a lot of them people have to understand, a lot of them have medical insurance.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, good.
All right,
good to hear you. Yes, so you cannot have a government that sits down and plan to tell lies. This is unacceptable. All politicians, particularly when they're speaking off script, might fly out the bat and may say things that they ought not to have said. They may excite the truth, but it's different when a government plans to lie. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, I'd come back again. I heard you say something a while ago, but number 10 is being attracted by... by
the law. You see, the NDC claim that if you don't increase the income that come to these politicians, they're going to get corrupt. And NDC immediately gave $2,000. And I understand they're planning to increase it by $5,000.
Yeah, but
that is a law.
But number 10 is not a minister, so number 10 cannot get a minister.
Well, you never could tell. Hope. Sometimes you end up in Marquis, but hope.
Yeah, well, we do, but secondly, I just come out down the road by a little shop there, and I listen to some people talking about the CPA exam and the results come out, and who child get 200% and all kind of nonsense like that. And you know what the guy is actually saying? That when the children, everybody goes to secondary school, and when you go to secondary school, whichever village you're from, is they send you to school. That is falling from the truth.
No,
because right now, that's how these people spread misinformation.
That's how they want the people to believe, but that's not true.
Yeah, but I know of a youth man that this is his second try, and he is living in St. David and is spending money in Montrose.
In Montrose?
You understand? On the other side of the island. I don't know how these only people cannot see the nonsense happening.
But you see, people don't understand. They could use that method to victimize some children. You know?
Well, that is what they do, and it's alleged that either the minister, the prime minister, child, or pastor. I don't care what.
I understand they have 2 top-ranking individuals that have children that didn't do so well.
So if that's the case,
so they
trying to destroy the whole education system in Grenada for your children. So if the instant results are out, you can go look at it. In St. Lucia, you can go look at it. In Antigua, you can go look at it. So what I'm trying to say? Grenada education system so bad that you have to revamp it so drastically, not even self-consultation with Judas Jude.
If you
And
see,
Jesus Jude is physically, you can see he's physically angry.
yeah, he
It's not
must
a
be
joke.
angry because he's a slap in the face. He didn't realize that black wizards say inside NDC ZNP. A lot of people are supporting NDC. They're not supposed to support NDC. NDC don't care about them.
Yeah, but I will continue to say that I listened to the Prime Minister on his media tour, on his soccer show. He's going around talking to all the so-called journalists, because so far he hasn't talked to a real journalist yet. Because who he talked to last night is not a journalist. Who he talked to today is not a journalist. And who he going back tomorrow, God knows what that is. But he hasn't sitting and talked to a real journalist that will ask him questions that needs to be asked.
The Prime Minister have to stop telling lies. And people have to tell the Prime Minister, discontinue the practice of lies.
Yeah.
And after every cabinet meeting, go and have press conferences.
Yeah, he has nice words, he already nice, and he has nice mannerism. He expresses himself very nicely. Everybody has their own type. Like Obama have a style of talking, Trump have a style of talking, you have a style of talking. Even that day, NCI gave it to the whole Dr. Michelle is talking. Imagine that. Imagine a man having a tie and a jacket, and you still look at a man just nice. Like really? That's how far. But anyway, Mr. Pierre, you have a good afternoon, and big up for that material you listen to here.
Yes, my friend. Yes, I think it's very important for us as a people to take a whole different approach towards our politicians. There are some politicians who have made great sacrifice in this country over the years. And I've always said I'm relatively soft on politicians. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, good day.
Yes, caller.
Mr. Pierre, we want to take the street very quick as possible. That's the only sound these NDC people and them could hear and feel and see. We have to take the street. Thank you.
Yes, caller. And it's also important for us to know what our politicians stand for. Sometimes, yes, caller, welcome. Caller, welcome.
Hey, Mr. Pierre.
Yeah.
Afternoon. Yeah, Mr. Pierre, you know, what's so wicked and so deceiving, when you know you sit down somewhere and we're planning to deceive people, and to yourself you know that what you're saying is a lie, it cannot happen, and you come and throw that outside for people to believe what you're saying, just for them to give you the blessing to achieve what you want.
Yes, caller, we come to the end of the program. Thank you very much. I think yes, caller, it's very important that the government of the day come clear with the people and hold discussion with the people. The government cannot be hiding from the press. The government have to disassociate themselves or discontinue the lies they have been telling the public. This is unacceptable. The government and the ministers, you're lying too much. You have to discontinue that practice. Expose yourself to the press so that they can ask you questions, and discontinue the acts of corruption that is taking place. And we're back with you again tomorrow between 12 and 1 for another program of On Target. Thank you very much.